Hey all, welcome to week 2 of our basic Comm theory, which is Comm 200. So we're going to go straight into the overview, which is going to be where this video is, along with our learning objectives. So welcome. So our objectives for this week is to just familiarize you with the basic communication traditions, the 7 of them. Sorry if you can hear the cats growling in the corner. I have foster kittens right now. But our readings for this week will be this page, but these 3 videos also give it a really, really good overview if you prefer to listen rather than to just straight up read, because this is a long reading. It starts on page 132, so this is 120, so 132. Yeah, so a sketch of the field of 7 traditions. So it goes, all the way from 132 to, let's see, to like 148. So it's quite a chunk to read that, but these 3 videos also give a very good overview of it, and these will help us on our first assignment, which is comparing and contrasting some of the communication traditions, and then this methodology overview, as well as the quantitative and qualitative methods, give a good overview of our next 2 assignments. So in weeks 2 to 5, you'll have 1 assignment every week. So our first assignment will be this compare and contrast, and you're going to pick 3 of the 7 traditions and just kind of compare and contrast them. So what do they have in common? What are some of their differences? And then as you can see our rubrics down here, who came up with each tradition? What led them to doing that? How did each affect the communication field when they were introduced? Did they make a big impact, or was it just kind of like, well, yeah, that's kind of common sense, not a huge impact? Which one is your favorite, and why is it your favorite, and which one makes the most sense to you? So like for me, the socio-cultural tradition always made a lot of sense. And then like cybernetics, I was always just like, can we move on? Like, I don't like cybernetics. But that's like my personal preference. Maybe you love cybernetics, or maybe you love critical or the rhetorical tradition. But that's just up to you. Which is your favorite? Which one makes the most sense? If you cite other sources, and when you do cite, they are in good quality APA, even if they're maybe not perfect, but you include subheadings or other graphics or something to make it more visually appealing and easier to pick out the information. And when you answer the question, you kind of explain the why behind it. So our next assignment is a qualitative versus quantitative strengths and weaknesses. So this is where we look at our quantitative and our qualitative methods. So just what are some of their strengths and some of their weaknesses? You can also check out this link. So there's multiple links in there. And it's up to you guys as to which ones you prefer, but just kind of try to identify, which one's better for which. So would you use, qualitative research in the rhetorical tradition, or would you maybe more choose quantitative? What about the socio-psychological, the socio-cultural? Which one? How can we know which approach is best to use? Who pioneered each style, if applicable? And then which approach do you prefer and why? So just if you cite, you have good citations, you go above and beyond as necessary, and then once again, it's readable with graphics or headings and subheadings. And here's just some brainstorming ideas. So qualitative and quantitative, what are some of the strengths, some of the weaknesses, which of the traditions would they fit best in, what kind of research, what kind of questions, and then any other thoughts. And that will start you on the way to writing this paper. And none of these have length requirements. It's just as long as you answer the question. And then this one kind of bounces off of that one. This is a methodologies compare and contrast. So with our qualitative and quantitative, we are looking specifically at the methods within each. So these are all like methods. So diary analysis, focus group, peer group, ethnographic research, case studies, surveys, correlational research, experiments, all these things are different research methods. So you'll just pick two types of methodology. So maybe you want to talk about surveys and ethnographic research. That's fine. You do you, whatever's most interesting to you. And then just compare and contrast them. So fully compare and contrast the methodologies, which type of situations they might be useful in, why they might not work in some situations. Are there any situations where a survey would not be the best tool? Or when, content analysis would not be the best tool, or why it wouldn't work in some way, shape, or forms? Good citations, and then it is readable. It's easy to read. So, and that will actually wrap us up for this module. So those 3 weeks. So we have our overview, which I'll put in with this video. We have our readings. I might throw some more in there if I come across more that seem really interesting. But this first little like module, these weeks 2 to 5, are just to kind of get your toes wet and thinking about this stuff before we move on to these theory explorations and the article analysis and a couple other small assignments that I'm going to put in here for you guys to do. So if you have any questions, please shoot me a message over here in the inbox or an email, or come find me in person. I am happy to help. But I will see you soon. Thanks.